The Enns Valley, truly a natural jewel among the Central European Alps. The importance of rivers to people's lives is evident from the fact that the Enns gives an entire region its name. And alongside the mountains that form the boundaries of the valley, it gives the landscape its character. Within it are concealed many special features that have influenced life in this valley for centuries. Our story begins at the eastern extreme of Styria's Enns Valley, just before the Enns changes in character and disappears into the wild Gesäuse Mountains. The purpose of the Life Plus project, River Landscape Enns, is to secure long-term the essentially natural floodplain and river landscape, with its litter meadows and resident fauna. At the same time, it should improve flood protection, while the areas recovered are being made accessible once more to local people for recreation. People have long sought to reshape their environment to their advantage. So it is that the Enns also has a long history of human influence. In the course of regulation measures beginning in the 19th century, the Enns was straightened by means of 40 cuttings and robbed of its original essence. Only a few meanders were preserved. As a result, the course of the river was radically changed. The Enns was shortened by a whole 19 kilometres. Back then, the regulation of the Enns and draining of the valley floor served mainly to gain land for agricultural use. But this straightening was accompanied by restriction of the dynamics of the river, and the speed of flow was increased noticeably. Natural flood zones retreated, causing the destruction of valuable habitat for fish, amphibians, and birds. Under the auspices of the Pan-European Project for Habitat and Species Protection, Natura 2000, which seeks to preserve species diversity among Europe's wild animals and plants, large areas of endangered habitat along the Enns were placed under protection. Regional measures for the conservation or restoration of these habitats can, as here on the Enns, be subsidised by the Life Nature programme of the EU. During the 5-year multifunctional Life Plus project, River Landscape Enns, which combines the provisions and objectives of the EU Water Framework Directive, the EU Flora-Fauna Habitat Directive, and the EU Floods Directive, 8 measures were implemented around Admont and Öblarn between early 2011 and autumn 2015, with a total outlay just short of €3 million. 2 old meanders of the Enns were reactivated. The mouths of 2 side streams were made accessible to fish and thus reconnected to the Enns. The condition of more than 13 hectares of existing alluvial forest is now secure, whilst 7 of those hectares are being used to allow new alluvial forest to grow. And 13,000 square metres of riparian ponds were created. Bank revetments have been removed along a total of 2.5 kilometres, and through widening, the Enns has once more been given the possibility to develop dynamically. Through this project, the Enns Valley has gained almost 4 hectares of Natura 2000 European Nature Protection Area. Residents and guests of the Enns Valley alike benefit from the measures, yet this is all the more true of the region's treasures. For example, animals like the grayling. This is a precious representative of fish fauna along the Enns Valley. It survives principally on aquatic insects. The bullhead is a small fish, at most 15 centimetres long. It inhabits flowing fresh water in Styria and is an indicator of clean water, given that it is very sensitive to its environment. But the bullhead has to watch out for the brown trout, as it is a preferred item on the latter's menu. The Ukrainian brook lamprey is once again present in larger numbers along the Enns. The otter population has also stabilised, like those of the kingfisher and common sandpiper. For many animals, the alluvial forest of alder and ash is a very important source of extended habitat. Its development is tied into the dynamics of the Enns and its fluctuating groundwater level. The Enns Valley lies in the heart of Austria. At the project's easternmost point, in the Grabner Au, the widening of the Enns along a 300-metre stretch, fresh restoration of a secondary channel, and lowering of the foreshore created a small, local, recreational paradise. A little further upstream, one end of the old meander at Admont Ost was reactivated. The original plan anticipated reconnection of the entire old meander to the Enns. However, during the planning phase, it became evident that the ponds, which had developed in the remains of the old meander over the years, had turned into habitat worthy of protection. The best solution for retaining the ponds was to reconnect the old meander solely via the completely silted up inlet zone. The pond area of the old meander remained unaffected and is only flooded when the water level of the Enns is high. The reconnected bends of the river offer fish zones of calmed flow and refuge during periods of flooding. As they grow, fish need different things from their environment. Depending on species, stage of maturity, prevailing environmental conditions, fish region and season, various migratory phenomena arise in the main and secondary watercourses, for example spawning, foraging or compensatory migration. Fish face a problem if their migration is hindered by construction or other barriers. Then they rapidly reduce in number, and species existence may even be threatened. At Esslingbach, a 400-metre stretch of a stream was therefore revitalised up to where it joins the Enns, with a particular focus on such fish migration. But construction of a matched depth connection to the Enns was not possible. A sewer pipe laid along the bottom of the stream made a change of plan necessary. So the new solution was to create a dedicated ascent corridor via a fish pass. A few hundred metres upstream on the Enns, at Dampfsäge, alluvial forest has completely recovered in specially created areas along a secondary channel. For a very long time, Adningbach stream had also been inaccessible to fish from the Enns. Weirs were removed to allow unfettered fish migration. As a result of its new submerged gravel structures, Adningbach stream now offers calmer, protected habitat for fish and birds. At the generous widening at Alte Salze, near Öblarn, the newly created pool also serves as shelter for fish. But these water retention areas also provide effective passive protection during flooding. The continued existence of many amphibians, like the Italian crested newt and yellow-bellied toad, is under severe threat in Austria. To protect them, new amphibian ponds were created, offering the Italian crested newt large areas of stagnant water for spawning, complete with gradual banks and siltation areas that are more than 1 metre deep and devoid of fish. For the yellow-bellied toad, small, shallow areas of water with good exposure to the sun were created, in which the water warms up rapidly. Some riparian ponds are full all year round, though they can dry out during periods of low rainfall. Regular flooding by the Enns and its tributaries ensures the essential supply of nutrients and diversity in the development of the river landscape. Upstream on the Enns, at Salzermündung, the mouth of the Salzer, the new secondary channel has already changed in appearance many times since its creation. Here too, during high water, this area serves as additional retention space. For all other levels of water, given its deep and shallow zones, this project area offers new habitat and is thus becoming a spawning area and nursery for the fish of the Enns. Among the deadwood structures, overhanging branches and steep erosion banks, kingfishers can build their homes. Gravel banks are a typical component of these renaturation measures. Initially, they are devoid of vegetation, but they offer space for pioneer plants and the development of softwood forest, with willow, alder and ash. Gersdorfer Altarm, over a kilometre long, marks the westernmost and last of the measures. This old meander was restructured with variations in bank slope, riverbed width and depth. The connection to the Enns via a float control guarantees continuation of existing flood protection and helps to maintain the existing character of the old meander. Through implementation in close cooperation with local people and information events accompanying the measures, people have been in a position to build a closer relationship with the Enns again over recent years.
Da bin ich sehr froh und dankbar, dass gleich 50% der Gesamtkosten von der Europäischen Union getragen werden.
Schools are making use of newly created facilities. Lessons out in the natural environment. The corresponding laboratory has been constructed right by the Enns. Water sports enthusiasts also have more opportunities to enjoy the Enns thanks to new and easier points of access. So, the Enns is once again an active component of everyday life. The natural power of the water is no longer perceived solely as a threat, but rather as a sculptor performing work of importance to the entire ecosystem of the valley. In all its beauty, the Enns is being utilised with care by residents and guests of the region. Through the 8 measures implemented in collaboration with the departments of water management, nature conservation and torrent and avalanche control, and with support from the European Union, it has been possible to make a significant step forward for the future. The Life Plus project, River Landscape Enns, is an impressive illustration of how it is possible to achieve several goals at once, namely improving local people's safety and creating more space for ecology and recreation.